Chapter 4, Chemical Reactions and Chemical Quantities. This is a quote from Linus Pauling. I feel sorry for people who don't know anything about chemistry. They are missing an important source of happiness. Some of you may disagree with that, but be that as it may. We hear a lot about greenhouse gases, right, and climate change and carbon dioxide. And so we're going to just take a tiny little peek at that. Carbon dioxide and other gases are called greenhouse gases because they trap the heat from the sun like the glass of a greenhouse does. They allow the sunlight to enter, which warms the Earth's surface, and they prevent some of that heat from leaving. So the balance between the incoming and outgoing energy will determine the Earth's average temperature. So, at the writing of this book, scientists had measured an average 0.7 degrees Celsius rise in atmospheric temperature since 1860, and they observed that atmospheric CO2 levels have risen 38%. So if you look at this is a graph of carbon dioxide versus time and global temperature versus time, and they seem to correspond, right? So it can be tempting to look at that and say, well, carbon dioxide is causing the temperature to go up. This data does not show that. It shows that there's a correlation. It could be possible that the temperature going up has caused the CO2 to increase. And so we have to be really careful when we talk about one thing causing another. Now, this data doesn't prove that, but I think scientists in general have come to the conclusion that CO2 is responsible for this. What we're going to do is we're going to look at the sources of CO2. One source, of course, is combustion reactions of fossil fuels. There's another source of CO2 that's entirely natural, and that is volcanic action. When volcanoes erupt, and even when they're just, fizzling around, they spit a lot of CO2 out into the atmosphere. So perhaps this increase in CO2 is due to volcanic action and not to human behavior. How could we figure that out? Well, we would need to know the chemical equations that describe how fossil fuel combustion creates carbon dioxide and how those equations relate the amount of fossil fuel burned to the amount of carbon dioxide produced. And then we could estimate how much carbon dioxide is produced by humans burning fossil fuel.